Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what's...
Malema fires shots at USA.
The USA is not interested in diplomacy. The USA is interested in dominance over us.
There is no white genocide here. It's an absolute rubbish to say there is white genocide. There is black genocide in the USA. They are killing black people in the USA.
Hello everyone, welcome to AfriVlog updates, where truth is not just told, it's unveiled. No filters, no sugarcoating, no distractions, just raw, uncut reality from the streets to the seats of power. If you are ready to see the world as it is, not as they want you to believe, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and stay informed. We deeply respect and acknowledge every creator whose work is featured here. Your voice matters and your presence is recognized. This is AfriVlog updates. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a moment of truth. Today's update is going to send shockwaves across the continent. Because, believe it or not, former US President Donald Trump reportedly asked South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to do something unthinkable: to arrest economic freedom fighters leader Julius Malema.
I will never be bullied by Elon Musk or Donald Trump, because I've never done any crime to anyone. As of yesterday, I was in an auction in Rustenburg. In that auction, 95% of those people were white people, wanting to demonstrate to Elon Musk and Donald Trump that I'm with the people you are saying I want to kill. Why do you make me an international criminal for asking for dignity of black people? I've not committed any crime against anyone except to say, let's restore the dignity of black person. If you don't have the land, you will never have dignity. And I was saying to those white people yesterday, you are not going anywhere because it's nicer in South Africa. There is no any other place which is more nicer than South Africa. The only thing you need to change is your hearts. You must learn to share and share the land with the rest of other people.
Yes, you heard that right. The man who's never backed down from the West, the man who calls out imperialism by name. Stay with us, because not only did Ramaphosa reportedly respond with caution, but Malema himself didn't hold back at all. He fired back with a fiery tweet and a TV interview that's now going viral. Let's break it all down. On a brisk day in Washington, D.C., behind the walls of official diplomacy and international press smiles, former US President Donald Trump reportedly brought up a controversial topic during his private bilateral conversation with President Ramaphosa. Sources close to the meeting, reported by independent journalists and diplomatic insiders, claim Trump voiced strong concern about Julius Malema and his rhetoric regarding white-owned land, nationalization, and anti-Western stances. Trump allegedly said, "This Malema guy is dangerous. He's threatening private property, calling for violence, and talking like a communist. You need to get control of him." More shockingly, Trump is said to have directly asked Ramaphosa whether South Africa would consider arresting Malema under the guise of preventing civil unrest or foreign-inspired socialism. Now think about that for a second. A former American president telling a sovereign African nation to arrest one of its most vocal opposition leaders. That's not just political interference. That's neo-imperialism with a necktie. Voiceover with visuals of Ramaphosa speaking at a press conference later that day. According to those same sources, Ramaphosa, while diplomatically calm, deflected the request. He reportedly told Trump, "South Africa is a constitutional democracy. We don't arrest people because of political disagreements." Now, of course, this line can be taken with a grain of salt, considering South Africa's own controversial political maneuvering, but in this case, Ramaphosa is said to have refused to entertain the idea of silencing Malema at the behest of a foreign leader. Why? Because doing so would be political suicide. Malema might be controversial, but is also immensely popular, especially among South Africa's youth. When the story broke, all eyes were on Julius Malema. And boy, he did not disappoint. Malema took to the official EFF Twitter page and posted this fiery tweet. Donald Trump must keep his racist hands off South Africa. I am not scared of Western threats. I was elected by my people, not by American capitalists. Arrest me. I dare you. I'll be the spark that burns the whole system down. The tweet went viral, shared tens of thousands of times, with global solidarity pouring in from youth activists, Pan-Africanists, and even US progressives. But Malema wasn't done. In a fiery SABC News interview, Malema said, "This is not America's colony. Trump must focus on his own court cases. I do not take instructions from Washington. If Ramaphosa tries to arrest me to please Trump, he must know he'll be arresting the revolution." The EFF is not just a party. It is a voice of the oppressed. We have no time for puppets or masters from across the ocean. This entire incident highlights the growing tension between African sovereignty and Western influence. The Trump-Malema saga might sound like a political soap opera, but it's deadly serious. It raises a powerful question: who truly controls African politics? Is it the people who vote? Or the leaders with powerful friends abroad? For Malema, the attack only strengthens his image as the anti-imperialist rebel. For Ramaphosa, it's another moment where he must walk the tightrope between appeasing foreign powers and keeping peace at home. And for Trump? Well, this shows that his foreign policy instincts haven't changed, still bullish, still imperialist, and still tone-deaf to Africa's political dignity. So what do you think? Was Trump out of line for requesting Malema's arrest? Did Ramaphosa handle it correctly? And is Malema becoming the true voice of Pan-African resistance, or is he just playing the political game at a higher level? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to AfriVlog updates for more raw, unfiltered analysis from the motherland.
Malema fires shots at USA.
The USA is not interested in diplomacy. The USA is interested in dominance over us by any means necessary, and we must stand up and fight for ourselves because we represent a historical mission, and that mission is the return of the land. Whether Donald Trump's like it or not, we are going to fight for the return of the land in South Africa.
There is no white genocide here. It's an absolute rubbish to say there is white genocide. There is black genocide in the USA. They are killing black people in the USA. There is black genocide here in South Africa. Black people are being killed all the time. A farmer has been sentenced to life now recently for having killed a farm worker. Imagine if it was a black person sent life for having killed a white person. It will be news all over. But this black person was killed and a white farmer sent to prison for long time in jail. It's once off reporting and it's done. There is no scientific evidence that points to any white genocide in South Africa. It's not true. And we're not scared of such things. We're not going to be distracted by anyone. Only death will stop us. Not Trump, not poverty, not sanctions.
A group of older men gathered in Washington to gossip about me. That's what Julius Malema said about the meeting between Donald Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa. Malema doesn't seem worried after he became the unexpected focus of the high-profile meeting at the Oval Office. During the meeting, Trump raised the issue of farm murders and land expropriation in South Africa, asking for the lights to be dimmed and directing attention to a screen next to Ramaphosa. A video montage of Malema's past speeches played, including footage of him singing Anna Live the Farmer. This is a controversial chant that has drawn criticism over the years. Shortly after the meeting, Malema posted on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. He said, "A group of older men gathered in Washington to gossip about me." no significant amount of intelligence evidence has been produced about white genocide. We will not compromise our political principles on land expropriation without compensation for political expediency. What do you think about Malema's response? Do you think his response is exactly what needs to be said? Or do you think it's making things worse? Let me know in the comment section. And remember to follow, comment and share for more updates.
EFF leader Julius Malema has criticized US President Donald Trump for cutting future funding to South Africa in response to his interpretation of the land reform policy here. While the EFF does not agree with parts of the Expropriation Act, Malema says Trump should not be interfering in the matter.
A statement by Donald Trump is offensive and undermines our sovereignty, and is a reminder that our reliance on foreign aid and foreign direct investment surrenders us to the will of imperialists who use money to dictate the economic and policy direction of Africa. We want to make it categorically clear to the President of the USA that we are going to expropriate land without compensation and pursue legislative measures to do so, and no threat will stop us. His misinterpretation of the Expropriation Act, which is a mild and cosmetic intervention, is an assessment of a measure that is going to be pursued through the amendment of our Constitution as South Africans, and there is nothing he can do to undermine our independence. The EFF reiterates its position that we must build state capacity, build a strong agricultural and industrial nation which will not depend on the West, and intensify trade relations with progressive nations such as China, Russia, and nations within BRICS who do not use foreign policy as an instrument to impose their will or bully other nations into submission.
The visit of the president to United States of America, if you can just maybe put your view on those.
It was badly timed because budget is coming to Parliament for the third time, and the president is not there. Once budget comes for the third time, it means it's a crisis. You cannot leave your country in a crisis and go to America where you're going to be ill-treated. He's going to be ill-treated. He will not be given the necessary respect, and that's what Americans do.
We are going there as a South African delegation. I'm going with ministers, and there are some other people who are accompanying me, and we are a sovereign state, and we will be conducting our discussions in a business-like manner, representing our country, the interests of our country. We've got a number of issues to discuss: trade issues, diplomatic issues, and relationship issues. So we are not going to be distracted by anything. We will just focus on what is important for our country. Trade, they have imposed tariffs on us, even though they've postponed them. We need to deal with that. We do quite a bit of trade with the United States. Our vehicles go there, our vegetables and our agricultural products go there. So they are our trading partner, and we therefore need to interact with them. Whether we like it or not, we are joined at the hip, and we need to be talking to them. And you don't talk to your friends or negotiate anything with your friends. You also negotiate with those that you may have differences with. So that's how we are going to approach these discussions.
What's your reaction?
But we all know, as South Africans, both black and white, that there's no genocide here. We are not genociders. We are not committing any act of hatred, act of retribution against or violence against anyone who is a citizen, even if they are not citizens of our country. We are not made that way. So we will obviously, if this matter comes up, we will make that extremely clear. Every South African knows and agrees that there's no genocide here. And the false stories that have been perpetrated or that have been bandied around, we all know are not true. They are not a reflection of who we are. We are a peace-loving country, a country that is committed to transformation, to ensuring that the people of our country have a better life, and all of them for that matter, without distinguishing whether this one is black, this one is white. It's all South Africans, as set out in the Freedom Charter, as set out in our own constitution. So we are very clear about that. So we will be carrying forward a South African message, and we are very, very strong on that, and robust as well.
Position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Did you guys see this? Julius Malema, he lets us know what he thinks about that meeting. He posted this on X. A group of older men meet in Washington to discuss gossip about me. No significant amount of intelligent evidence has been produced about white G-side. We will not agree to compromise our political principles on land expropriation without compensation for political expediency. And you can see in that meeting, they were playing videos of him, they were calling him out by name. He then posted this: "You will never put a good man down. I will never be defined by my enemies, but by my loyalty to the cries of our people. You will never kill the idea whose time has come. Kill me now, cowards." And you can see the photo he posted. What do you guys think about this? They were mentioning Malema's name left and right at that meeting, but Malema brought up a good point. He didn't see any intelligent evidence of this white G-side. He says that he stands for the cries of his people, so he'll always put his people first. Let me know what you guys think about this. Comment below.
There are no Afrikaners who have been killed here in South Africa. It's not true. And there are no 49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction. It's drama. You know, America with drama is number one. That thing is Movango. I don't know what is Movango in Afrikaans. It's just a drama. I believe they landed and then they waited for cameras, took them pictures. The next flight back to South Africa. If those people are farmers, it means there are 49 farms available. Why are we not expropriating them? Because they've abandoned them. But why is the media not telling us? Because they say these are farmers. Why is the media, through its own investigation, say to us, this picture you see is a farmer at this. They are not farmers. There is no one who left farming here in South Africa. I suspect that those whites were these ones who were looking after cars at the parking lot. They were attending to cars and they went to fetch them there. They can't live. They will never live the kind of life they live here in South Africa anywhere else. Even if you live here as a millionaire and you go to USA, your money gets reduced to nothing. So no American or Afrikaner will leave South Africa for America. It's not true. Our country, there's no killing of white people. We're not killing white people. We're demanding our land. We're saying, let's share this land. Let's all work the land. And if that is a crime, it's a crime we're prepared to commit. Because we can't, when we're asking for food, and say, no, you're committing crime by asking. We're having a robust debate on land in South Africa. And that must never be used to silence us by...
I will never be bullied by Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Because I've never done any crime to anyone. As of yesterday, I was in an auction in Rustenburg. In that auction, 95% of those people were white people, wanting to demonstrate to Elon Musk and Donald Trump that I'm with the people you are saying I want to kill. Why do you make me an international criminal for asking for dignity of black people? I've not committed any crime against anyone except to say, let's restore the dignity of black person. If you don't have the land, you will never have dignity. And I was saying to those white people yesterday, you are not going anywhere because it's nicer in South Africa. There is no any other place which is more nicer than South Africa. The only thing you need to change is your hearts. You must learn to share and share the land with the rest of other people. We are in a robust engagement as people who were excluded from the economy of South Africa. And that robustness might look like it's violence against a particular nation. It is not. It is our cry to have our dignity back. We are being told to keep quiet, otherwise we are going to be declared international criminal. I'm so happy to be an international criminal. You know why? Because Nelson Mandela was an international criminal. That's what they declared him, for fighting for the freedom of our people. And if it means I'm joining in the ranks of Nelson Mandela by being declared an international criminal for fighting for the rights of my people, I'm a proud international criminal.
Contribution. Donald Trump made a similar contribution that were made by white people, all of them, in the hearings, in the public hearings. Donald Trump is not saying anything we have not heard from white people in all the hearings. I even commented and said, I'm still to meet a white person who support expropriation of land without compensation. So why are you shocked? I see leaders of the EFF and everybody responding to Donald Trump. I don't have time for nonsense. I expected this. And more backlash is going to come. If South Africans are not ready to expropriate the land because they are scared of sanctions, they are scared of backlash, then don't vote for the EFF. Because you vote for us, we are going to expropriate land. And Donald Trump will come for us. And Britain will come for us. And the EU will come for us.
Thank you very much, House Chair. I understand why the representatives of imperialist forces will want to silence this voice. And that's why they will stand up to raise unnecessary questions. House Chairperson, the first remark we wish to make is that there was a very little engagement politically. If anything, people want to blackmail us about aid and all sorts of things. But they know very well that there is no reason related to any wrongdoing by South Africa which has led to USA cutting its own aid. You can't say Donald Trump must be elected today and the following day he makes executive orders and then you come here and blame the South African government as if the South African government did not do anything in between. That was a predetermined outcome where he wanted to come into office and punish South Africa for its position on Palestine and many other issues. We must be very clear that we are not going to agree to any form of bullying by anyone. It's a lie that there is farm killings in South Africa. Actually, those who are married in farms and owning farms, they kill each other.
We have some major breaking news coming from South Africa. So the United States of America wants Julius Malema, the person who has been fighting for South Africans and wants to free South Africans. Now it wants Julius Malema to be arrested because of singing a song that was saying that we have to remove the white person from the land of Africa because Africans do not have land. Now, to have perspective, 90% of all the land in South Africa is owned by the whites, while only 10% is owned by the government and the people of South Africa. If you go to South Africa, like a place known as Soweto, you will find that the South Africans are living in slums. And South Africa is one of the poorest countries when it comes to slums because the largest slum is found in South Africa. While now, the foreigners are owning large tracts of lands, they are living their life to the fullest, and now Donald Trump is saying that it should continue to be like that. They should continue owning those lands. They should continue living the way they are living. And Julius Malema, who is saying that now it is time for Africans to occupy their land because the land of Africa belongs to Africans. They now want to arrest him. And they told Ramaphosa for them to be friends with the United States of America. Why hasn't he arrested Julius Malema? Why has he not put Julius Malema in prison?
So finally, Julius Malema, the Vice President of Africa, clapped back at Trump. And y'all know that yesterday, on the meeting between Trump and the President of South Africa, Ramaphosa, it was really controversial, y'all. And guess what? They played Julius Malema's videos, okay? And this is what he has to say on the comment. How come a group of old men met in Washington to gossip about me? I knew Julius Malema is gonna clap hard. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Make sure you like the video, you share the video, and you tell me, what do you think?
China, Russia, we're going to work with them on our own terms. The Chinese don't go around Africa stealing anything from Africans. Your corrupt leaders overcompensate in exchange for something personal. That's what happens. The Chinese don't steal anything. They are in business. When the more you give them, the better for them. Why must they say no? Your leaders are not negotiating in good faith. They are negotiating with their families in mind. That's why they overcompensate. So we have no such a relationship with China. We've got a socialist and developmental relationship with China, and we know that China will help us. Russia is not our friend ideological. We are with Russia in its fight against Ukraine because we know it's a NATO fight. It's not a Ukraine fight. So that NATO can expand its territory and be closer to Russia and undermine Russia. For that, we'll be with Russia because we can't allow territorial expansion of imperialism and colonialism in whatever direction. But Putin is not left. The government of Russia is not left ideological. If anything, Putin will be more aligned with the US in terms of policy and ideology, except their fundamental differences on imperialism, where Russia feels that America wants to control it through expanding the military base of NATO, because the military base of NATO is an American military base. So we are with Russia in that context.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
And on the bad.
You know, this thing of the land is very simple, comrades. You just go into a village and look at how many families are there sharing 5 to 10 hectares called their settlement. 10 hectares. And then you go next to them, you find one Afrikaner family owning 1,000 to 2,000 hectares alone. And the village is constituted by more than 2,000 families. They are sharing 10 hectares. One family of an Afrikaner owns 2,000 hectares. And they only use 200 hectares of the 2,000 hectares they are owning. And then don't touch it. Don't do anything about it. Let these villagers continue to share the 10,000 hectares when one person owns 2,000 hectares. So it can be an acceptable practice. But what I find actually more problematic is that when we speak about racism in this country, people say all manner of things. But I'm still to see a white person who support expropriation of land without compensation. I just need one. So this thing that actually the division is a class division in South Africa is not true. Because even the poorest white person who doesn't have a land, who has got nothing, you pick up that person at the robots and say, what is your view about land expropriation? That no, leave the land alone. The poorest white person. So in South Africa, we are still to deal with class divisions. At the core of our divisions is racism. That even the white hobo can't imagine black people owning a land, and it will collapse the economy. Because the way you are so dirty, everything you touch, you dirty it. That's what they say about us. That will collapse the economy. That everyone else will go. That was Zimbabwe. But that which we are doing now, I'm still to see a person who's going to show us that this was done in Zimbabwe. That we're doing here. Yeah. It has never been done in Zimbabwe. The consultations brought involvement of everybody and allowing those who own the land to come to our meetings and insult you. It has never happened in Zimbabwe. And then that should give you comfort that our process is completely different from the Zimbabwean process. It's a completely different process. Stop sensationalizing, stop being alarmist, allow democracy to play its own role. So, with regard to the land, I think that is what we want to say. There is no food security which is going to be disrupted here. Not at all. Who are we to go into a farm that is producing food for us and say, no, you must cease operations, and then we are taking over? The ordinary people actually told us on the ground that these whites, when you buy land from them, you give them millions. They put stones in the borehole. They damage them. That's why when you come back and say, we've given you the land, you don't do anything with the land, they say, we didn't find anything functioning here. Before you paid them, everything was functioning here. After you paid them and we took over, everything collapsed. They poisoned the land. They take our millions and still poison the land. They take our millions and break the boreholes. So why would we want to engage in a risky process like that? All we're saying is that we want the land to be democratized. The ownership of the land in South Africa must be reflective of the demographics in South Africa. In Tubatsi, there in Skukuni, when you go to that area where there is chrome, where they said people were doing illegal chrome, before the state and big capital attacked them, just go and see what those people did with illegal chrome. In Skukuni, in the village, people were taking chrome because that chrome is just here. They just use a TLB. They don't use any sophisticated method to take out the chrome and sell it to whoever wants to buy it. Go and see what those people have done with that money they were getting from that chrome. You don't need a research. Just go and stand outside there. Those people have built houses, big houses for themselves out of that money of the chrome. They've changed their rural life out of that money of the chrome. Now they stopped them. When the EFF tried to intervene, that thing is owned by Samanco. Then Samanco says, no, this is our land. We've got the permit. So I asked them, what are you doing with this land? Because there's no activity here. People found an empty land. They are using it to feed themselves. They said, no, we're going to start mining here after 30 years. So I'm saying to them, but people are not going to eat after 30 years. People want to eat now. Why is Samanco and the people not coming together? Since Samanco realized these people are using this land to feed themselves, and the department coming together to try and find a workable solution which will continue to feed the people in that part of the land without any go-between. Directly the people must be helped to continue mining the chrome and don't damage the land. They will damage the land if we don't help them. They will damage the environment if we don't help them. That no, this is how you go about it. But they've demonstrated that that land can benefit them now, and they've benefited out of it. So what do we say about those people who have demonstrated that this land can feed us? What do we say about the people who are saying we've got the tools to work the land to produce food for ourselves? A white man owns a huge farm, doesn't have sufficient cattle to graze on that land. Here are the poor communities, they've got cattle. When they are found in the farm of a white person who doesn't have cattle, who doesn't use that land for anything, they are either killed or they are arrested. You have to go and bail the cattle. The land is not being used for anything. This is a community with cattle. One family has got 4, the other one has got 5. And you know what they do? They use those cattle to pay for the fees of their children. Every January, all those who live in rural areas know that big trucks go into those villages to go and buy, because it's a selling season. Why are they selling in January? They must take their kids to school.
The United States of America has bullied nations before and imposed senseless and arbitrary sanctions and threatened wars. But we are a different generation and will not be bullied, Mr. President. We agree with you, President, that we should not be bullied. We stand on the shoulders of the giants who confronted the establishment with their very lives, and we are willing to follow in their footsteps. We are not cowards, and they must not try us. And now, this year, you tell us that you will not be bullied. We agree with you that we must not be bullied, but you fail to tell us what you are going to do about it. It is not enough to simply say you will not be bullied. You must tell us what action you will take. When you respond on Thursday, we expect you to provide real, detailed response to Donald Trump. Mr. President, we are not being attacked by Trump administration because you did anything wrong. They are attacking us because of our stand on Israel. They are attacking us because of the action the government has taken to ICJ. And we are saying to you, do not be misled by people who are saying you are under siege because of expropriation, which is meaningless act. That act does not say anything, and they all understand that language. They are using it to fight our case against Israel. And when you say they cannot bully us, you must start by removing the Israeli embassy to show them that we will not be bullied. Thank you. America must never tell us what to do. The same United States, which is furious at being cut off from the riches of Burkina Faso, cannot tell us what to do. We stand with Captain Traore. We stand with Traore because we know that Traore stands for the unity of Africa. We are Traore, and Traore is all of us. If they kill Traore, you must know they would have created another wound in the continent of Africa. We must defend him the same way we defend the unity of Africa. We must defend China for defying the USA and telling the USA to go to hell because they don't understand how the tariffs works. Donald Trump is an enemy of himself and all of us. And he must know the EFF is not scared of him. The EFF is not scared of Israel. The EFF is not scared of Morocco. The EFF is not scared of the imperialist forces. The EFF will stand on the side of the people of DRC, the people of Sudan, and the people of Sahrawi. We want to make it very clear that we should not be confused with a generation of cowards who can be bullied by imperial forces and power-hungry individuals intoxicated by the wealth of apartheid. The United States of America has bullied nations before and imposed senseless and arbitrary sanctions and threatened wars. But we are a different generation. We are a generation of economic freedom fighters and will not be bullied, Mr. President. We agree with you, President, that we should not be bullied. We stand on the shoulders of the giants who confronted the establishment with their very lives, and we are willing to follow in their footsteps. We are not cowards, and they must not try us.
This is your home for real African stories, not the ones told by the West. Stay informed. Stay proud. Stay powerful. So what do you think? Do you believe this is the start of something bigger? Should more leaders from the diaspora openly support African movements like this? Let me know in the comments, and if you felt that fire today, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, this is AfriVlog Updates. Dark skin tone, raised fist, stay bold. Stay woke. Stay connected. Stay black. And never forget, black excellence isn't a dream. It's a decision.